In my past life, my father cheated with the nanny's daughter. I was violated, and my mother blamed me for being immoral. When I died, no one cared. This time, I will make them all pay the price. My father had an affair with the maid's daughter. When I told my mother, she slapped me to the ground. You're shameless enough to seduce the man and then smear others. Disgusting. How did I give birth to something like you? Later, the maid's daughter pushed me down the stairs, and blood covered the floor as I struggled to call for help. But they watched me bleed to death without lifting a finger. Reborn, I will make them pay an eye for what they've done. Opening my eyes again, I found myself sitting at the dining table, while the maid was making sarcastic remarks nearby. Doing nothing all day, just waiting for meals if my daughter is here. She would have prepared everything by now fast. She looked me up and down with disdain. Girls these days, showing off their midriffs and legs, they have no self-respect. If it were my daughter, I'd have broken her legs long ago. Whoever marries a woman like that would be cursed for 3 generations. She glanced at the floor and immediately flew into a rage. There's so much hair, it's dirty the floor I just swept. You're like a dog shedding hair every day. And those shoe marks, disgusting. Sitting at the table, I initially was still processing the shock of my rebirth. Her voice became increasingly grating, and I grew more certain that this was not a dream. When I came to my senses, I snorted with a wry smile. Some people stay too long in someone else's home and lose sight of their place. Got spoiled by the owner. In my previous life, I didn't hold it against her for taking care of my parents diligently, but I never expected her to become even more disrespectful toward me. I stood up and looked down at her. If you keep spouting nonsense, get out of here! Martha was stunned for a moment before clapping her hands and sitting on the ground, wailing, "Oh, madam, sir, look at Miss. I work so hard for this family, and this is how she treats me." My mother heard the noise and came downstairs, pointing at my forehead without asking any questions. "Ashley Tyron, what are you doing? Bullying Auntie again? Every time you come back, there's trouble. Are you trying to drive me mad?" Seeing my mother's angry face, my suppressed emotions welled up, and I gripped the flesh of my palm tightly. There was grievance, anger, and resentment inside my heart. Clearly, I am her biological daughter. So why does she treat the maid's daughter, who has only been here a year, so well? I know she disapproves of me for not being ladylike or gentle, but I am her daughter. Who would spare the perpetrator and join forces with them to humiliate their own daughter when she's been violated? Who would stand idly by and watch their own daughter bleed to death for the sake of an outsider? I'm her child. My mother seemed startled by the hatred in my eyes. "Ashley, have you gone mad? Daring to glare at me. Did my words went in one ear and out the other?" I closed my eyes, suppressing the tears, and took a deep breath. I slightly relaxed my clenched fists. "Why do you always take the side of outsiders? Am I really your biological daughter?" My mother was taken aback by my question. Perhaps accustomed to my subservient behavior from my past life, she hadn't expected such a challenge from me. She, usually quick-witted, was momentarily speechless. Seeing her supporter arrive, Martha stood up, wiping away non-existent tears from the corner of her eye, and reported to my mother right in front of me. "Madam, you don't know. Miss just told me to get lost. I've worked diligently for the Tyrons for 5 years. If not for my merit, then at least for my efforts. I know Miss doesn't like me bringing Mary over, but Mary is excellent and outshines her everywhere. That's not something I can control. For her to shout at me and tell me to leave, it's chilling. Forget it, I've bothered you and sir enough. If Miss doesn't like seeing me, I'll take Mary and leave." My mother hurried to stop Martha. "Auntie, no. Our family aren't under her command. You and Mary stay here. I like Mary. She's such a well-behaved girl. How different from her, who can't do anything right." Mother glared at me. "Ashley, come over and apologize to Auntie." A hint of triumph flashed across Martha's eyes. Looking at the scene before me, I smiled sarcastically. "Apologize? If you don't apologize, get out of my house." I was taken aback. "Fine, I apologize." I reached out and grabbed the steaming food from the dining table and threw it at Martha with a thud. Martha winced in pain. "Ouch, it hurts so much." "Ashley, you've gone mad." "Mad? Damn right I'm mad." I continued grabbing plates and smashing them around, sending food splattering everywhere. Martha and my mother were forced to huddle in a corner, looking terrified. I approached them. "An apology, huh? Here's my apology, loud enough?" "Loud enough? I'm asking you, is it loud enough?" With a bang, I smashed another plate near their feet. "Loud enough." Martha retreated. "Loud, loud, loud enough." I sighed in relief. "Good, then I'll always apologize in this manner." Going up the stairs, my mother finally reacted. "Ashley, you think you are tough now? You still dare to scare me?" As she said this, she tried to come after me, but Martha immediately held her back. "Madam, don't. What if she goes crazy again?" Before I closed the door to my room, my mother was still muttering curses. I leaned against the door, fell weakly to the ground, hugged my knees, and silent tears streamed down my face. I don't know how long it had been before I wiped my cheeks and muttered, "Since you don't want me anymore, then I don't want you either." A hint of ruthlessness flashed through my mind. This time, all of you will atone for your sins.